welcome to the first podcast where we actually have like a format, where we're actually doing a thing rather than just being idiots.
No, we don't.
The first podcast where we're doing something remotely structured, and Judd lost his phone and he's literally using a grandma's Kindle to record this from. He's literally using something that is a book. It's primarily used as a book, and that's what he's recording on.
Do you remember that one time when I did a podcast on a book? Sick.
I thought we'd start off with some ASMR crisps, being as I've not eaten food yet and I'm starving, so here we go.
Nice.
There you go, that's your ASMR crisps.
Are you done?
Right, Judd.
I have something. Hold on, I have something to sort of start off with before we go into stuff
Good,
as well.
That's exactly what I wanted you to do while I roll my chair over to the fridge to get a beer.
Okay. So last time, for the people who were for watching, sorry, audio listeners, you're not really going to be able to see what's going on here. But for the people who were watching last time, I was building something. I was building some shit on stream, and I finished it. And I've also painted it, so...
Oh, I see.
There we go. That's
that terrible Kindle quality.
Yeah.
For the people who are only listening, it's this big green monster thing that Judd's been building on, that Judd was building on stream at one point, and he's painted it. It's pretty cool. It's a model,
yeah.
Because he's a massive
I've got the second one here that I did off the podcast, and, yeah, he looks fucking sick. I love that model.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, now I'll stop.
Is what we've got from
this. I'll stop doing audio, visual things now on an audio format.
So let's do a quick, before we get into our top favourite video games of all time. We need to do a quick Corona update. Corona. I showed a Corona beer on stream. That's funny. There isn't one really. Well, I mean,
what a fucking pointless segue.
No.
Let's do a Corona update. There isn't one. Good.
No, listen. What I meant by that is, like, Boris, big Boris, who's the king of our country, but not actually the king, but may as well be the king, he said, he said he was going to relax lockdown a bit, when in reality he didn't actually do that. He just confused everyone about lockdown more. That's the only thing he did.
Yeah. So, all I have gathered from the subject is that I can now exercise with a person outside of my house as long as we're 2 meters apart, which, to be fair, now does mean I can go see me mate Tom. We're not actually going to be exercising. We'll probably just walk a little bit, but at least I get to see me mate a bit. So that's it, really.
But should you do it still is the thing. Like, we're no better now than we were 2 weeks ago. So why? It's kind of the thing. Like, if you weren't going to do it back then, don't do it now. So I don't know. It's kind of.
Hold on, I'm gonna quickly close these blinds because I think it might look a bit better on camera if I do this.
While Judd's closing those blinds, I
think that made it worse. I think that made it worse, if anything.
Well,
all right.
It doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm going to explain what we're going to do today. So, we've each both compiled a top 10 list, and these are supposed to be ordered, right? Supposed to be in the order from 10 to 1. So, number 1 would be a favourite game ever, right? But I've also done a bunch of honourable mentions as well. So I wanted to quickly run through those honourable mentions, like not go into detail of them, just mention all the names of them.
I should probably state that I wrote a list for this, and it was on my phone that I've left in my boss's Jeep, so I might forget a few. But
we're getting greetings from someone called Melisuki on Twitch. Hello, how are you doing it? Who is this? Who is who? This is me. I am Jake, and that bald fucking gross ugly one over there is Judd. Who's drinking?
Hey, how's it going?
Beer. Right. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to go through some honourable mentions, and then we're going to go through taking it in turns, saying what our top game is. So if I went first, I'd say my number 10.
Wait, hold on. I thought it was game franchises, like series.
Listen.
Oh,
here's
it
the
is.
thing.
Okay.
So I would say my number 10, then you'll say your number 10. Then I'll say my 9, then you'll say your 9. There might be some that cross over, in which case we can just sort of skip over those when we get to them.
Okay.
But it's also favourite video games ever or favourite video game franchises. But if you pick a franchise, you have to say which is your favourite out of that franchise as well.
Okay, all of mine are franchises. Every single one.
Well, that's fine. I hope that's
because
clear enough.
because I thought that's what we were doing, but okay.
Well, I did type it out. I did explain it perfectly to you. You're just a complete idiot.
I'm not believing that from a man who thought yesterday was Tuesday. So go fuck yourself.
Well, this gets published. This is going to be published on a Friday, so it's going to confuse everyone. But basically, that's not a problem anyway, because a lot of my favourite ones are franchises as well. For example, one of my honourable mentions is Civ 5, and that's a franchise, so the Civ franchise, but 5 is my favourite. And then stuff like Ratchet & Clank, Soul Calibur 2, Pokemon, Destroy All Humans, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, Hearthstone, Force Awakens, Shadow of Mordor, and Dishonored. There's a lot of ones that are technically franchises there. Those are all honourable mentions, by the way.
Okay.
And then my last honourable mention, which very closely almost made it onto the list, is Undertale. It almost made it into my top 10.
That's in my top 10 list actually.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll get to that eventually, but first we've got to greet
Undertale is in this list,
hello.
and
Hello,
its number may shock
Love
you.
Good to see you.
Hi, Tesso.
He's saying, where have you been, Judd? It's been like ages.
Look, I shaved my head so I can fit in more with your people.
Oh my god! For people who don't know, Tessoteric's German, and Judd's making a
He's German.
And for Tessoteric, I'm just going to remind you of why Judd disappeared in the first place. Right, okay. Who wants to start? Do you want to start with your number 10, or shall I start with my number 10?
I do want to start with my number 10.
Okay, you start with your.
I'm going to start. I'm going to do it. Are you ready? Have we got some Watch Mojo intro to play?
No, we haven't got any sort of Watch Mojo intro, but fine. What's your number 10 most favourite game of all time?
Well, my number 10 favourite franchise and game of all time is the Prince of Persia franchise. And
we are so in sync. That's my number 10 too.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just
Sorry, Tessoteric's asking if your PC is repaired. No, it is not. In fact, it's much worse than that. Not only is his PC not prepared, he left his phone in his boss's car, so he's literally doing this podcast from his grandma's Kindle. That's literally what's happening right now. He's literally using a book, an electronic book, to record this damn thing.
The thing is, this is perfect. This is the perfect aesthetic for our brand. I am incredibly on brand for us. It is our absolute scuffed as shit fucking low effort.
It's on a Kindle. It's not even in 16:9. There's black bars on your video.
It is. Some funky black bars. I'm in like a cinema ratio. It's sick.
Hold on, wait. I might be able to do something funny on the video. Tell us about Prince of Persia, Judd. Or the series. For starters, you have to say which is your favourite one in.
Yeah. Warrior Within. Without a doubt, Warrior Within. Wario Within is my favourite.
Wario Within, yeah, that's the best one.
Wario Within. It's just, to be honest, it's more like the memories of me and Jake sitting down and playing Prince of Persia, because we used to play that all the time at Dad's.
That was a big thing when deciding my favourite games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one was alright. I liked Sands of Time. Warrior Within was just fucking awesome. And to be honest, I am going to credit Warrior Within for being the reason I'm into heavy metal and the reason I'm into shit like that, because it was sort of the first thing that had sort of metal in, you know. It had Godsmack's anyway. I Stand Alone. Yeah, the first thing that we experienced. Like, obviously, all the stuff will have had. I remember metal a fun
story of the end credits, like song we really liked, and I think we really liked it because we'd completed the game, and that made us really like.
and it was like the first time either of us had experienced metal either. So like,
yeah.
I mean, you kind of
my
like
point is
metal.
with that,
I really
I
like.
remember you trying to tell me like, oh, I found out who that band is who plays that song, and you told me it was Nickelback.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it was Nickelback who did it, and it wasn't at all Nickelback.
Not even close.
It was Godsmack.
Tesoteric says, only Judd can
alone.
lose his phone and break his PC at the same time. And how are you, Judd?
I'm fine. I've got an actual job, and I'm working through the whole coronavirus thing. It's actually that everything being shut and me still getting paid it is forcing me. It's literally got me in a stranglehold, saying save up for your PC. There is no other alternative. So it's going all right actually. Yeah.
Well, more on Prince of Persia.
Yeah,
you said your favourite's Warrior Within. My favourite's Warrior Within too.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a trend up this list of just good quality linear story games that have fun gameplay, an interesting story, and interesting characters. I'm a sucker for that sort of game. And it was so violent and so fun to fight. And like to run along walls and stuff, it all just felt so nice. And I think that's something that's a big thing in the PS2 era. Because obviously also, PS1 era, they were still just getting used to 3D games, but in PS2 era, they'd got it down, and everything felt so nice to do.
Yeah, I just want to say that how much that game has impacted on my life. Actually, I say not too long ago. It was actually like a year ago. I was at a party, and a couple of my mates were outside smoking, and you'll remember this from ages ago, Jake, but. You know, whenever there'd be like a slanted wall anywhere, what would we do if we saw a slanted wall?
We'd try and run on it like Prince of Persia.
Yeah, we'd run up to the slanted wall and run across it and shout, Prince of Persia! So I went outside to where my two mates were out smoking, and I saw this slanted wall, and I was like, oh, fuck yes. But the problem is that I was incredibly drunk. So and also my two mates have no idea what's going on because they weren't there with us when we did it. So all they saw was me stumble out of this like bar, look at a wall, go Prince of Persia, and then run into the wall and fall over.
It's such a good game, such a good franchise. I remember our dad used to call him Ponce of Persia, which is quite funny as well, and quite relevant to what Tesoteric just said, because he says, you look so much older, what's happened to you? While Jake turned into a K-pop character, Judd's just gone from age 20 to age 50.
I was going to bring up how I actively enjoy having penis in my mouth, yet I'm so much less of a faggot than Jake is. I was going to bring that up.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say I'm a lot more camp than you. Well, I don't know about a lot more.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, no, I'd say.
I don't think I'm significantly camp.
This is coming from a man who owns a plastic penis that he puts inside himself.
just as a disclaimer, that's Judd that has the plastic, not me.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's me.
Right, but anyway, more on Prince of Persia. I have to say that every game in that franchise is good. Every game, right? From Sands of Time was a good start and a very interesting concept, and the reversing time thing for PS2 era was great. And it had like secrets to find to increase your health. The story was fun, really good. Warrior Within made it more edgy and just improved on everything. That was great. The third one was it's a step up in difficulty, and the story was a little bit weirder. But other than that. And those weren't necessarily bad things, and other than that, it was pretty much another Warrior Within, so that was really good. Wasn't a fan of the time segments, but that's just me. They were good. And then the fourth one was where they took a massive sort of difference, and it was on Xbox 360 rather than, like, original Xbox or PS2. But, and it was sort of like an alternate universe sort of deal, and all the sort of combat and everything was different, but it was still fun. It was still good. Probably the worst one in the series, but it was still quite good and quite fun. And then they went back to their roots with Prince of Persia 5, which you've not even played.
Which I've not played. Honestly, but I saw it and I thought that looks good. So
that's
there you
my
go.
second favourite after Warrior
Within.
Within. It's a really good one. I think it's something to do with sand again, and the way you fight enemies is it's a bit more. You can fight more enemies at once. Put it that way.
I'd say it's more God of War.
Yeah, it's really good though, and the
to
final boss fight, forget about it. It's so fun, it's so cool, and it's the perfect sort of difficulty for those sorts of games where the final boss fight is challenging. I had to do it like maybe 5 times, but any more than that, and it's just too much for those sorts of games. Unless it's meant to take loads of tries, like Dark Souls, then that's too much to go like more than 5. But anyway. How about number 9? Do you want to give your number 9 first, or shall I give mine?
Whoa! Oh yeah. I suppose we have the same number 10. I was going to say.
Yeah.
Go on. You can. I just talk, so you can talk now.
My number 9 best game of all time is Skyrim.
You know what? That didn't make. I was thinking about it, but that didn't make it onto my list. And to be honest, the reason
as well, if you wanted, but it's pretty much all Skyrim for me.
The reason I didn't is because I thought we were doing a franchise thing, and I was like, well, I have played Oblivion, and I didn't really like Oblivion that much. And that's going to get me crucified, but I don't care.
I don't know.
I love Skyrim, but it's just I thought we were doing a franchise thing.
See, for me, the main thing that I think about when like deciding what my favorite games ever are is just the memories and how much fun I have playing certain games, and Skyrim has had a lot of fun. The only thing is that it was all on my own and kind of like that was fun type of thing, you know. The main story of it I remember really enjoying, and defeating the final boss was quite intense and fun, and the mods on it, the sort of exploits and all the different things you can do, it's such a good expansive game, and it stood the test of time. Like, if Skyrim came out now, it would be a good game.
Yes.
And the thing is, you can compare Skyrim to The Witcher, right? In that your decisions make a difference, it's a similar setting, it can be third person if you want, and all that sort of thing. You can compare it.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Skyrim destroys The Witcher. Skyrim is way better than it. The Witcher 3 I'm talking about. Tessoteric confirms Oblivion is so shit that it's Oblivion is so shit that it's good again, and I feel that.
Witcher, I was thinking about it. Witcher didn't make it onto my list, and even if I knew it was just single games, I still don't think it would.
No, it shouldn't. It's not worth.
There were too many bits. There were too many bits on it, and I'm just gonna say it. Riding on the fucking horse, where I just went, what is happening? I hate riding that fucking horse. It's so bad.
Yeah. Well, look, Skyrim. It's just
I like Skyrim.
The main story is like I'd say just the right size for a game that's meant to feel really big and long.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it don't feel like it's a massive chore to slog through, but you know you're in for like a long ride when you start it. And then you can kind of, because I love the way I played it was I did that, and then I was like, sweet, that was great. Right, I'm gonna go and do, and I'm gonna take a break from Skyrim, play something different for a bit, and then I'll come back and do one of the bigger side quests. And then, once I'd done that, go away and play something else for a bit, come back and do another one of the bigger side quests. And it's just so fun. There's so many characters. It's just a brilliant game, Skyrim.
Yeah.
What is your number 9 game of all time?
Number 9, Dawn of War. You're not gonna know. Well, you might know what Dawn of War.
Of course, I know what it is. By the way, if anyone has any questions about why we've picked these things or like what we think about stuff, then feel free to leave it in the comments on YouTube if you watch it as a video thing, or you can type directly in chat if you go to twitch.tv/gamesbadly, YouTube gamesbadly too, because we stream live here, and also you can tweet at tweetsbadly if you only listen to the audio podcast using hashtag. Nothing. Don't use a hashtag. Just tweet at tweetsbadly. I'm gonna know what you mean. I'm not a fucking idiot, am I? you know that segue, Jake. Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. That was a great segue.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I've been thinking about it all day.
Okay, that's not ironic either. I fucking love the Dawn of War series, and obviously that's got to do with how much I fucking bum over the Warhammer franchise. I've played. I think there must be 10 installments.
Game, like RTS.
But I love the stories to Dawn of War. The the voice acting in some cases is either awful but hilarious, and then sometimes it's just amazing.
And
so
that's
the voice
the difference
acting's
between
great.
something like that and The Witcher, where the voice acting in The Witcher is just like not terrible, it's just stale and not good.
Yeah.
Whereas you can go so far the other way, like Oblivion does.
Yeah. But and the character design's just a perfect. The story's great. The only one that was bad was the newest one, Dawn of War 3. That was taken over by Relic, and Relic just kind of fucked it up. And they didn't. You can tell that they sort of just like opened one book about Warhammer and went, "I understand this now. I understand all of it."
That'd be me. I wouldn't even read it. I'd just open it and go, "That guy looks cool."
Yeah, you'd look at the cover and go, "I get it all." But
it's about giant armors and monster swingy things. No story needed.
Yeah, which is what they did, but you can tell that like in the first ones, like Dawn of War and all of Dawn of War's like add-on stories, and then Dawn of War 2, and that all of that's add-on stories have got people who really honestly care behind it, and also the modding community is fantastic as well. So they were just really fun games. My favorite one is probably Dawn of War Dark Crusade, because that is the one that has got my biggest army in it that's a playable faction.
And do you think that most people who are fans of that series would like iterations of that game that sort of are closer to their favourite like armies and that?
Yeah.
But before you answer that question, Tessoteric says that he wants to appreciate your when you talk to him, but your quality is so shit that it just like T-poses in front of my audio, because I've got literally a studio grade audio mic, and you're recording off of an electronic book.
It's sick. I know, it's absolutely sick.
Anyway, continue.
But yeah, it kinda. From what I've seen, a lot of everybody's favourites is Dark Crusade, because Dark Crusade added like because before the campaign modes, campaign modes were you had
gross.
Yeah, the campaign. It does do that. You had to play as the Space Marines faction. You had to, like in the campaign, that you were just locked into that, and you went through separate levels, playing story-based missions off of that story. In Dark Crusade, it was more like Galactic Conquest from Battlefront 2, where you had to take over. Okay, well, but it was like that, where you had to take over territories, and there was like 6 or 7 different factions, all like trying to get the one up on each other, just trying to, conquer this planet. And it was
speaking of Battlefront 2 though, I almost put that in my honourable mentions, and then I realised I only played one subsection of that game where you was the Jedis fighting each other on the Mos Eisley thing. It's the only bit of it that I enjoyed.
And that's all you needed to do.
Yeah.
But anyway,
days, I've still got that game because of only that mode. Tessoteric says his top game of all time is Half-Life 3. Nice joke, good joke. See, it's not as funny now. There kind of is a Half-Life 3 at this point,
yeah.
But, okay.
And it's really good. So
that was your number 9, wasn't it?
Yes.
Shall I go with my number 8 then?
No, why? What's your number 9? Do your number 9.
I did my number 9. It was Skyrim.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay, yeah.
See?
So, sorry, I'm retarded. Okay, yeah, right. Do your number 8, yeah.
I've just got to say, I said Undertale's one of my honourable mentions, and I've said Skyrim and Prince of Persia. Well, I said Prince of Persia is 10, Skyrim is 9, and then I've got my number 8. Yeah. Any of Undertale, Skyrim, Prince of Persia, and the one I'm about to say could have been swapped round, because I love them all pretty much equally. And my number 8 that I have picked is GTA 5.
Oh.
Tessoteric says always does. I mean, it's all the drugs.
I've got what? I've got brain lag.
Yeah, GTA 5, right? Because I've played through that long ass campaign on that twice. It's that good, right? I've played all of that. I've done every single quest on the story. I'm literally just saying the story mode. I'm not bothered about GTA Online. Yeah, it's still one of my favourites, even though I don't use the biggest part of that game, which is probably the best part of that entire game. And the reason I love it so much is that every single quest is fun to do in some sort of way. I like how it controls. I like the variety in weapons, the variety in cars, and the location is so fun. I love California so much. It's such like an American dream place. And when you're in like this larger than life game that GTA 5 is, you can actually live that American dream better than in real life. And it's so fun. I love the characters in it. Obviously, like Trevor. I mean, come on. And but the thing I did the most,
Trevor. I aspire to be that man. I aspire to be that man.
The thing I did most was just fucking steal cars and customize the cars. And I would literally just every so often I'd log into GTA and decide, I don't want matching blue cars anymore. I want matching gold cars, and I'd just go drive them individually to the shop. Like, change the colours and all that, drive them back and park them in the garage, and that's it. And I just loved it. It was so much fun. I'd go off and just do... I love games that are so open that you can go about and just do whatever the fuck you want, you know? Like, you can just go and mess about. Another example of that is Hulk Ultimate Destruction. You know? Like, that game, other than just going about and bashing stuff, is dog shit, right? But it's same with GTA 5 in that... It's so good. I love running about on that. Tesoteric's comment on it is GTA 5 is a good game, but the online mode has such long loading times. But the single player is nice. Shooting innocent people never gets boring. Indeed. How could you get bored of just like whacking a hooker with a like tire iron? You know.
I still do it now. And I don't even own GTA. That's how much I love that game.
And the thing is, I think the reason I liked it so much is, do you remember when Dad was dating that woman that was a little bit older than him, and she was really rich, and she had 2 kids, and her kids weren't in, and they said that we could go and play on one of their kids' PS3. And obviously you being a heartless, selfish dick were like, oh, sweet, video games, and just went off to do it. But I was like... If someone did that to me, I would be so annoyed. Like, they'd be messing up your save games. They'd be fucking around with you. I would be like, no, what? How did you just let them fuck with my stuff? So I just remember playing GTA 4 when we were doing that, and I thought it was a cool game, and we didn't fully understand it. And then when GTA 5 came out, we were old enough to understand it, and it was so ahead of its time with how good it was. Like, that's another game where if it came out today. I still think people would go crazy for it. And it's one of the best-selling games of all time as well. So I think it's great. So yeah, that's my number 8. What's your number 8, Judd, while I check the Discord messages I'm getting? My Discord has been booping and saying I've got a message, like, a lot, when I haven't. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, what's your number 8 pick, Judd?
My number 8. Can I get a Call of Duty?
Oh, okay.
Can I get a fat Call of Duty?
Tesoteric says it's time for GTA 6. I disagree. They need lots of time to develop those. They just came out with Red Dead 2 fairly recently. So Call of Duty. You know what? I have to.
This is a fat gamer moment, ladies and gentlemen. Call of Duty.
Right, okay. Whenever you mention a game that I've got further up my list or something like that, I'm going to let you know. So Call of Duty is my number 7 as well. So we've got another match there. Okay. So you're saying Call of Duty, but what's your favourite Call of Duty?
This is another hard one, but Black Ops, the first one.
See, great minds think alike, am I right? See, I've the first 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But COD 6 could work as well.
2 was still good. Black Ops 2 was still good.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Black Ops. It's the first Black Ops, and it's between Modern Warfare 2, and Black Ops. But Black Ops just beats it, and it probably beats it. The 2 main reasons are, I think the story's better, and I think the...
You think the story in Black Ops 1 is better than Modern Warfare 2?
Yes.
I think that's a mildly controversial statement, because I would say those are definitely the best 2 Call of Duty campaigns of all of them. But I also wouldn't say you're wrong. I think they're both just as good. Tessa Turek says, "Judd, go away from your Kindle ebook camera. You're scaring the kids." That's how bad your quality is.
Look at my pixelated ginger beard. Come here, kiddies. I want you.
I can't wait for you to get a PC so we can get you some decent stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just Black Ops 1 just beats. I think I kind of like the Cold War era setting.
Yeah, I think that's more interesting.
Yeah, it's more interesting. Yeah.
Here's the thing for me, right? The reason why I would pick Black Ops 1 or 2 over Modern Warfare 2, quite significantly, is zombies. Like, for sure. Like, yeah. In fact, I literally put down Call of Duty Zombies. I didn't put Call of Duty down, I put Call of Duty Zombies down. Because that's the most important thing. That's the thing that I remember having fun with the most. And don't get me wrong, I loved the campaigns on all, I loved every game from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 2. All of the ones that were in there, so that's Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 2. All 4 of those, that's kind of my era for it. And the zombies in Black Ops 1 and 2 were great. Probably Black Ops 2 was better because it had all of the Black Ops 1 stuff anyway. So zombies mode was so good, and the multiplayer in all of those games was good. It was so many good memories of just coming home from high school and playing that literally from 4 p.m. till midnight, just straight up, constantly. And I still didn't get good at it. But yeah, that's back on the days when I was playing on controller and console and everything. Gross.
Yeah.
So.
Wait. Okay. So that was my number 8, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. So now your number 7.
Have you done your...
It was my number 7 as well, so now it's your turn for number 7.
Was your number 8 GTA?
Yeah, my number 8 was
GTA. Or was that your number 9?
And then my number 7 was Call of Duty Zombies, so now it's time for your number 7.
Okay. My number 7 is the Batman Arkham games.
Okay.
Batman
I wouldn't put them up for me because I just think they're fun and alright, but... Yeah, I can understand why other people would enjoy them a lot. Yeah.
My favourite one, Arkham City.
Yeah, that is the best one as well.
I like Batman. It's as simple as that. I fucking like Batman.
I think you'll see a theme similar to that further up my list too.
Yeah. It's I like the villains, I like the heroes, I fucking love Batman. I love the setting. I love the story. I love the art style. I love the combat. I just love that game. I love. Origins is a bit naff, but
they definitely are some of the best superhero games, because it's hard to get superhero games done well. Like, they're a very hit and miss.
No, when you said that, I think I've just figured out what your number 1 is, but I'll not spoil it. I'll not.
Well,
yeah, I think or at least one of your high up ones. But anyway, Batman. I like Batman, and that's the end of my statement.
Tessa Turek says, Jake, just send him into exile and only get him out of there when he has decent gear. The fact that Jake sounds like a professional and Judd sounds like he is forever stuck in an Xbox 360 lobby makes me really uncomfortable.
I am, and I shall have intercourse with your mother. That's what they say.
Judd is not only on Xbox 360 quality, he's on PS2 Local Connect quality.
Come on, LAN party.
No, I think that's fair. I think Arkham stuff is good, and I think a lot of people would agree. They always tend to get quite highly rated. See, I don't go with that too much, because I find the combat a bit clunky. Probably more clunky than the Witcher combat, but the thing is, there's more stuff to like about the Arkham games than the Witcher for me.
I'd say Witcher is a lot clunkier than Batman, but
yeah, and I think the story can be like have very high point. It can have quite high points, but a lot of sort of more boring points as well. It's not like all good, and so for me, I understand, but yeah, it's not. Okay. It's not even in my honourable mentions, to be honest. Right, is it my turn for number 6? It is. I know your brain doesn't work from all those drugs you've been snorting. But
yes.
So I just have to say, from my number 7 all the way to my number 2, you could swap them around anywhere, but I've just kind of tried to put them in this order, and I think it works best what I've put it in, but you could swap them around and I wouldn't disagree. So my number 6 is Spider-Man PS4, which is the one that I think...
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be number 1 or a high one.
That's okay. I'm
boggled.
All times.
I'm boggled.
Here's the thing, right?
You boggled me.
It's there's only so much quality memories you can get out of like, it's not a linear story, but it's a fixed story game, and there's only so much sort of memories you can get out of that, especially unless you're younger. So the difference between that and Prince of Persia games is we could replay Prince of Persia games 20 times because we were so young that it amazed us loads, whereas now we're older. I were going to say I can't play through Spider-Man a load of times, but I have completed it 100% 3 times. So that kind of shows you how good it is. It's so good, and the reason I put it above Prince of Persia is because it is just better. It's just so much better. Like, it's such a good game. There is literally no fault I can pick in that game. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Like, can you think of anything that potentially could be a problem with it? I know you've not played it, but can you think of something that would be a problem?
I've not seen or heard a single thing wrong about it, so...
That's the thing. It's a perfect open-world story experience. Maybe the only complaint you could say is it's a little bit short, the story. Maybe, but it's not very short, really. Right, okay. I know one complaint that someone could make is that it's got the general trope of you're fighting the same sorts of enemies all the time. That's the worst thing I could say about it. But those enemies are so fun to fight, and they're not the same enemies all the time. There's different sort of factions that you'd end up fighting, like you might end up fighting the cyber soldier type people. You might end up fighting the magic demon-y type people. You might end up fighting your general types of thugs. You might, so there is variety in it still. So, that's... Tesoteric says that Judd's quality would get worse... What? That Judd's quality would get worse than it was before. That Judd's quality would get worse than it was before amazes him. Right, okay. Nice one. But yeah, Spider-Man PS4. This is how good that game is. Spider-Man PS4 is so good that one night I got a little bit tipsy and I'd completed it for my 3rd time, and I decided to send an email to the developers to let them know how much I enjoyed that game. And I did. I sent an... Yeah, they did. They just said they'd take my feedback on board, and they were really happy that I enjoyed it.
Brilliant. I love it.
This is something I've only ever done twice. I've only ever loved something so much while being drunk, to send an email to something twice. And the other thing is Blue Moon beer. Sorry, I'm German. My English is not the yellow from the egg. Yes. That is a saying that we do have here. The yellow from the egg. That is yeah.
9 seconds for English.
Oh, that sounds like the Rona. Judd, what is your number 6 favourite game of all time so far?
Are you ready? Number 6 may shock you.
It's Spider-Man PS4, isn't it?
Undertale. And Deltarune. I put that because I thought it was a franchise thing, but definitely I like Undertale more than Deltarune.
Deltarune was significantly worse than Undertale for me, but still very good. I would still say Deltarune was like a 7 out of 10, but Undertale is a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
The Undertale managed to bring out a childishness in me.
Yeah, that sort of wonder from playing older games.
Yeah, and it just I loved the characters, the art style, the music. I still listen to some of the fucking music now and again.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like it was all pretty much made by one dude as well. Toby Fox did pretty much all of that. There was I think she's called Temi Chan, I think is her name, did a lot of other stuff. But it's just, I adored Undertale, and I really like Deltarune. So
you're going to be quite sad, Judd, because Tesoteric says, Undertale is a game I never enjoyed. Don't at me. The thing is, that's fine, because you're objectively wrong. Undertale is fantastic.
That's all right, though, because you are wrong.
Yeah, Undertale is such a good game. Such a good game. And you're right in that it hit that childish wonder that's hard to get as you grow up. I just loved it. I love it. It's so good. And it's so simplistic as well. And I love how they use the simplistic nature of it to make the story just incredible. And the reason why it's not as far up my list, it could have been in my top 10. It's on par with Prince of Persia, Skyrim, GTA 5. The reason it's not as high up as like Spider-Man PS4 or Call of Duty Zombies is we had one night, like, because we played through it together. So for me, I had one night of incredible enjoyment of it, but it was just one night of having a lot of enjoyment. Whereas a lot of the other games that I've ranked a bit higher, I had a lot of different days of. It got sort of more time out of it, of sort of nearly as much fun. And I have to say that Spider-Man PS4 is one of the only games within recent times, including Undertale. Spider-Man PS4 and Undertale are the only two games I can think of that I've had that sort of childish wonder for playing games again. In like the past 5, maybe even 10 years. No, past 5 years. So, yeah.
Yeah.
What a great game. Tesoteric says he loves the soundtrack too. Yeah, it's a brilliant soundtrack.
Yeah. There's just something about it that was just incredible and managed to capture something that a lot of games can't.
Yeah, brilliant game. Really good game. I think this next game, that's going to be my number 5, bear in mind this game could be anywhere from 7 to 2, I've just happened to put it at 5. I reckon this is going to be on your list as well, and you've not mentioned, because my number 5 is Borderlands, the Borderlands franchise.
Yeah, and it is on mine.
What number is it on yours?
I'm not going to say, because that's spoilers.
That's your number 1, it is, I knew it would be.
It's not.
Okay,
it's not,
right.
But maybe it is, because I'm not going to give you spoilers. So
okay, that's fair enough. I think that's right to say that it is on the list, but not say where it is. Okay, right. So my favourite Borderlands is number 2, and I think that not only is it my favourite, I think that's definitively the best one so far as well. And the reason is, there's so much extra and endgame. I say extra and endgame content. So there's quite a bit more in. Quite a lot more, I would say, in Borderlands 2 than Borderlands 3. And the content's probably a little bit better overall in number 2, like sort of story-wise and endearing-wise, just by a tiny bit. By the most tiny bit. So I think each bit of the story and the gunplay and the bosses and all that sort of thing in Borderlands 2 is all a tiny, tiny, tiny bit better, but it's also got more by a chunk. So that's why I think 2 is the best one in it. But it's such a brilliant franchise. It's sort of another thing that's not been done before. And it's like an MMO, but it's a shooter and an RPG. That's fantastic. And the fact that they've managed to merge all those genres in such a fun, comedic, interesting, dramatic, colourful, wonderful, vibrant way. It's fantastic. It's such a good franchise. That, again, another franchise. There's not a bad game in that franchise. Number 1 is definitely the worst one, but that's because they didn't have as much funding. They'd not worked on it as much. It's great.
Yes.
So we're also getting a question. Tesoteric saying, "Is there a AAA game you played that you really hated?" That's a really interesting question, actually. Yeah. Far Cry 5.
That was a triple. Yeah, I didn't play it.
I think for me, that's the only game I can think of that's like a AAA title that I also bought that I was like, I don't like this. And even so, I wouldn't say I hated it. That's quite a strong word, but I thought it was bad. Definitely bad.
I know what mine is, and Jake's going to put me on a cross for it.
What is it?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, you didn't hate that. You just thought it was a bit boring.
No, I didn't think it was... Because if I thought it was a bit boring, then I would have gone, oh, well, but I'll still finish it, because I paid, the amount I paid. I just didn't like it at all.
Stupid.
So I just stopped.
Stupid. You're dumb.
I just stopped.
I'm kind of getting to
I
that
like
point
Red Dead
with The
Redemption 2.
I kind of understand, because when I was playing it, until I'd played like 2/3 of it, I was like, this is just not as good as number 1. In fact, I should have put Red Dead Redemption on my list somewhere. In fact, I might have put that somewhere near Skyrim, to be honest. I forgot about Red Dead Redemption.
To be honest, if I would have known this was not a serious thing, that would have been on my list. It probably would have been higher than... it would have been below Undertale, I think. It would have been the one below Undertale.
Well, yeah, that's one that's kind of been missed out. So bear in mind, that could have been somewhere in my top 10, the Red Dead Redemption franchise, but mainly number 1. I also really liked number 2, but just not as much. He's also asking, is there a game out there that is overhyped for what it is? Yes, The Witcher 3. We've talked about that quite a bit. The Witcher 3 is definitely quite a lot overhyped. I reckon a lot of people would say The Witcher 3 is at like a 9 or an 8 out of 10, and it's not. It's 5 out of 10.
I'd give it a 7.
Well, you'd be wrong. Right. Okay, what are we on next? Which number did you just say?
It's my number 5 now.
Okay, that was your number 5.
And I've actually got this mixed up, so this would actually be my number 6, not my number 5. Sorry everyone.
Wait, what did you just say? I forgot what game you even just said.
I said Undertale for 6.
Oh,
but
Undertale for 6.
Now thinking about it in my head, actually Undertale would be number 5. So now actually this is my number 6.
Okay.
So my actual number 6, Undertale is my 5th favourite. My actual number 6 is the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Oh, that's surprising.
Jake,
to me.
It made it on my list.
I can't believe I can't believe it's even on your list. Never mind so high as like number 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And spoilers, that's definitely on my list too. I'm not going to say where it is.
Yes.
But, you know.
I loved the first one. I thought watching. Who did I watched somebody. I think I was up at like a friend's house or something, and I was watching them play the first one, and I just thought, this is fucking sick.
Tesoteric's never played a single Assassin's Creed. That's very interesting. It's a massive franchise.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And
my favourite Assassin's Creed game, I shall say this, Black Flag.
Black Flag.
And my reason is I like pirates. I think pirates are cool.
Okay,
and
what
that's
I do want
it.
to say is, I think we should wait until it crops up on my list to talk about it a bit more, being as I obviously like that franchise more, and I deserve to talk about it more. So there.
You know what? That's completely fine, because my compelling argument was that I like pirates, so that's fine.
Right. Okay. But what I will say about Assassin's Creed is, there are so many games in that franchise, so I can see why it would be hard to get into that franchise. And I think if you tried to get into that franchise from the first game and play all of them from now, you would struggle, because the first game might be a bit too old. It might be a bit too simplistic and not maybe. But it's
all right. Where Ezio comes in, it might be okay.
Maybe, but if you're not willing to play through like 20 odd games or however many it is, and with some of them being quite old, but not, I think they would still hold up fairly well, but not, I say jump in on Assassin's Creed Origins. I think that's a great place to jump in, because it's not the latest one, but it's only one off the latest one, and it kind of starts a new branch of the story that's not really got anything to do with the rest of it. And even then, it's not really a connected story much after that, so you don't even have to worry. So I think from Origins, so if you've never played any but you fancy playing some, play Origins and then definitely play Odyssey. Right, okay. So my number 4 is what we're on next, right? Yeah.
I don't know. My brain is
fine. I'm doing it. I don't even know why I'm asking you.
Yeah, just stop asking me, please.
So I'm on to my number 4 favourite game of all time, and it's Apex Legends. Is my number 4 favourite game of all time.
Christ.
The reason is, I've spent more time playing Apex Legends than any other game in my life. I've played 730 hours of that thing. Tesoteric's happy to play old games. He plays 2005 Need for Speed, so yeah, okay, play all of them. But yeah, Apex Legends. The reason is it's probably I don't think I've ever got into a game seriously like a serious. Sorry, hold on. I don't think I've ever seriously got into a game as much as Apex ever. And I don't ever think I've been as good at a game as I am at Apex either. Because a lot of the games I've played, and pretty much most games on this list, other than maybe Call of Duty, have all been story experiences. They've not been online multiplayer. So there's nothing to get good at, you know? So... and also Tesoteric's bet me a £100 donation on Apex to try and get to Master Rank, so that might be one of the factors that I'll enjoy. No, but the thing is, the reason I felt like that could have been a contender for number one, but I think the reason why it's fallen short is because recently I've just not enjoyed it anywhere near as much, and I've had a lot of complaints about it, and I have to balance out the amount of fun hours I've managed to put into it and enjoy getting good at it and getting wins and all that, and sort of even meeting people through it. I have to balance that with there's been a section of bad memories with it too, where I've not enjoyed it, and it's made me fucking hate myself after playing hours of it. So the main reason it's so high is because it is a really good game, as much as I complain about it, and I have had so many hours having so much fun, and I'm really like how good I've got at a game for once. That's never been, like, the channel's called Games Badly because we're bad at them, but I got good at it. Like, that's the thing, and I love that. So yeah, Apex is. I was rooting for it to be further up because it's the thing that's been played most on this channel, but I can't, in good conscience, give it higher ranking than that because there are bad memories with it as well. So yeah, Apex, it's a good game. Even though I say it's bad pretty much every day.
Yeah. Well, okay. Get ready for a shocker.
All right, your number 4 favourite game of all time.
My number that is fourth is the Far Cry series. And my favourite one.
Why did I not put that on mine?
My favourite one is free. I decided that my favourite one was free.
Shit, see, that's another one I forgot about. That could have been higher than GTA for me. Yeah, could have been. Maybe even as high as Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's a close tie between a Far Cry 3 or Far Cry. It was 4 with Pagan Min, weren't it? It was 4. It's a close tie between those two. I know. Like gameplay wise, 4 is just free, but a bit better. Like it's got more stuff in, and it just feels a bit better.
I think there's a lot of things that are just a little bit better in 4.
But I think it's more to do with the memories and how hard Far Cry 3 hit me. Because it's like when I got to 4, I was already anticipating it to be great, which I still adore Far Cry 4, I really do, and maybe it is a better game with free than free. But the thing is, I got Far Cry 3 not knowing what the fuck a Far Cry was. Yeah. Like, I know you'd played Far Cry 2 a bit, and you said it was dog shit, so I was like, oh, well, fucking whatever this is going to be then. And I played it, and I was like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah. See, right. The story I've got about this is I adopted Far Cry 3 as a game because this guy was kind of weird. He was in a wheelchair from school. He gave me a bunch of Xbox 360 games because he bought a PS3 instead.
Was this the one I tipped out of his wheelchair?
It was the one you tipped out of his wheelchair, yes it was. I can't believe he did that. He wasn't a dick.
He was upset. He was being a dick. I don't care what you say. He was being a dick. So I just.
Jude, you're the one who you're the one who tipped someone out of a wheelchair, and you're calling him a dick. You can't. That doesn't work like that. Sorry, Tesoteric says, does the price tags of the games influence your rankings? I would say no, probably not. If a game's good, it's worth paying for. You know, I guess it does to a certain extent, but not much, I don't think. Right, anyway, moving on from Judd tipping people out of their wheelchairs. Yeah, Far Cry is great. I think I'm not too upset that I forgot about it, because it would compete with something like Prince of Persia, right? Because that's number 10 on the rankings. And if I think about that as a franchise, and how many of the games I liked, and how many I didn't, and how much I liked the ones I liked, and how much I disliked the ones I disliked, it's got 3 games in that franchise which I thought were just shit. And it's got 2 which I thought were brilliant. Compared to Prince of Persia, which has also got 5 games, and every game was good. You know? So that's what I've got to say about it. Like, Far Cry 5, Far Cry 1 and 2, I couldn't even play past the first mission, they were so bad. And but Far Cry 3, really good. I would say 8 out of 10. And, well, 7 or 8 for Far Cry 3, and then 8 or 9 for Far Cry 4. I think it's just that bit better. It's the technology was stepped up a little bit. It was more vibrant, and I think the setting was a bit more interesting. The villain was just as good for me, except in Far Cry 3, they had like this extra villain, which was kind of a weird thing to have.
Yeah, so that wasn't needed.
It was just weren't needed. It wasn't bad. It was just like, oh, why is this happening? So yeah, I think that's very valid, but I'm not too upset that I forgot about it. Put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. What is your 4 then? What is your 4?
My number 4. I said my number 4 was Apex. I'm on to my number 3 now.
What is your number 3? What is your 3rd? Oh my God! We're in the trophy section. What is your bronze section?
This is the bronze medal. This is the poo-coloured medal.
What is your bronze?
My bronze medal game. My number 3 favourite game of all time is Minecraft.
I completely expected that, to be fair. In fact, maybe even higher.
For a long time, I've thought of Minecraft is probably my favourite game ever, because there's so much fun I've got out of that game. So much. I'm a really creative person as well, so it really appeals to my sort of ideals, and it's fun to be part of a game that everyone's playing as well. And I could I think Call of Duty COD 6 is the first game that I got into that everyone was playing, but Minecraft I did so much more, and it's the first game I ever started making content on as well. I think it might have been COD 4 actually, not sure, but I made a lot of Minecraft content, put it that way, and it was so much fun. There's so much you can do with it, so many different types of fun you can have, and I've made so much different. Oh, it's so good. Tessoteric says it's such a good game when you have friends you can build with. I think it's good when you don't have friends you can build with.
Well, here is a dire problem with that for Jake. He doesn't fucking have friends.
Well, the other problem with Minecraft and friends you can build with is that, like, you have to literally pay money for a server. I couldn't do that. Like, no one was willing to pay for multiplayer, especially on Minecraft. It's like, nah. So I have played multiplayer, and it is fun, but when I'm building something and trying to be creative, I don't want people coming around and fucking with it, and it kind of bothers me. So multiplayer is not for me necessarily, even though I liked the idea of it. But Minecraft, yeah, it's such a... again... Other than, like, sometimes stupid crap would happen with, like, creepers blowing you up when they just shouldn't even be there and things like that, I can't say anything wrong by it, because there's so much fun, good stuff you can do with that game. And I would go back, and I've gone back to it so many times and still enjoyed it every time I've gone back. The only reason I've not gone back kind of recently and enjoyed it is I think I waited too long. There's too much stuff that I don't understand anymore, and I'm an old man as far as I'm concerned, and I don't like things I don't understand. So
yeah.
That's why I put Minecraft as number 4, number 3, my number 3 favorite game series of all time. It's so much fun had from it. It's fantastic. Even you played Minecraft for a little chunk of time.
I did, and I only did it when I was with other friends or with you, because I just I can't get into it. I find it a chore. I don't
think you're creative enough, which is fine. That's not a negative thing. What was I going to say? Do you remember? I loved Minecraft so much that when it sort of was starting to get big, we had Dad had bought us. Our dad had bought us these really shit laptops. They were called notebooks. They were about £100 each. These things, maybe less, maybe like £80. For the Europeans watching, Alexa, how much is £80 in euros?
£80 is €90.52.
And for the Americans, Alexa, how many American dollars is £80?
£80 is $97.63.
So there you go. Dad bought us some laptops that were that much. And for laptops, that is just nothing. They were so bad. And
that's it's like a day's wages for me now. That it's just
a day's wages. That's less than a day's wages for you. But anyway.
It's a day's wages, and then I could get a couple fucking cheeseburgers in York. So York price cheeseburgers, everybody. That is now what you have to measure your worth in.
Anyway, I liked Minecraft so much when I was about 14. I would have been, I guess. That on that shitty little laptop, I found a website where it could run online and for free.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford to pay for it. I couldn't afford a laptop that cost more than 80 quid. So how could I pay for Minecraft? It cost £10 whole. So I found that, and I just run it on the worst settings. It looked like crap. I even found texture packs that made the textures less resolution so it could run. And it looked like dog shit. I don't know why I'd enjoyed playing it at all, but I did. And I made this tiny house, and it was brilliant, and I loved it. And Tesoterix reminded me that, he says, especially modern Minecraft eats your RAM for breakfast. Like, Feed the Beast Unlimited eats 12 gigs of my 16. Yeah, it doesn't run optimally at all, and it is really hard to run, but I found a way. And the mods, no game I've ever played, including Skyrim and GTA, have ever had as good mods for Minecraft. Playing the original Tech-It pack was so fun. That's the pack I still play, even though there's a bunch of stuff added to the regular game. It's so good. I've been talking about Minecraft for so long, but yeah, number 3 game of all time is Minecraft for me. I could talk about it forever.
Jake.
What?
Jacob, it's time.
For your number 3.
It's time for what I deem as the poo colour. As the
game franchise of all time.
Not the first, the worst, not the second, the best, but this is the one with the hairy chest. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It is the Fallout franchise.
Yeah, I expected that from you. I substituted out the Fallout franchise for Skyrim because I enjoyed Skyrim alone more than 3 and 4 on Fallout, which are the only ones I've played. So yeah, that's fine. And honestly, I know that it's your game to talk about, but I think Fallout franchise is probably better than the Elder Scrolls franchise objectively. For me, not. But
yeah.
So yeah.
It's. See, I used to play Fallout 3 all the time, and I played that game to death. And actually revisiting it recently, the story in Fallout 3 is fucking dog shit. Like, if you actually analyse it, you go, hold on, this makes no fucking sense.
Well, it's the same in 4 as well. It's weird.
Yeah. Fallout 4, I played that as well. I played all the DLCs and everything for 4, and it was a good game. It was fine. But the big one for me was Fallout New Vegas. Yeah. Oh boy, did I fucking play that game.
I underappreciated that. I might have to play it again.
I have played Fallout New Vegas. I've counted 21 times. I've completed it 21 times. And it's actually got to a point now, I've timed myself doing this. I can speedrun the story of Fallout New Vegas in 1 hour and 18 minutes.
When you become a speedrunner for a game, that's how you know you like it.
Yeah, and I could probably get it down to under 1 hour and 10. I could beat Fallout New Vegas in under 1 hour and 10 minutes. I love it.
Speaking of you playing games loads of times, I just want to make a quick prediction. Don't confirm if this is correct or not about your top 2, because that's your number 3. I reckon your top 2 franchises are gonna be Borderlands. I don't know which order, but Borderlands and Under the Sea Murder Mutants. What game do I mean? Where's the word? BioShock. There we go.
We'll have to find out. Won't we?
Tessoteric says he does speedruns of World of Warcraft. You forgot about World of Warcraft, you big smelly.
Just because it wouldn't make my list, because I think it's gone absolute dog shit. So
yeah, that's fair. Oh, what about Hearthstone? Didn't put that on your list. You played a lot of that. That was on my honorable
I know
mentions.
because I think that's a load of dog shit now as well, and I still don't think.
I do with Apex as well, but it's still one of my top games.
But the thing is, I got into that game competitively, and that was the fun I had with that game. It was competitiveness. It was me beating another person and me getting to the top. It wasn't getting enraptured with the story. It was just I wanted to up another person.
And I think that's my problem I'm having with Apex at the minute. I'm struggling to make myself have fun with the game rather than trying to just rank up, you know. But anyway, carry on about Fallout.
Yeah. Just fucking with Fallout New Vegas, I've beaten that game doing the story for every single faction. I probably did. Well, I probably did Caesar's Legion the most, just because I thought they were the funniest. Like they went about the wasteland crucifying people, and they based their ethics off of the old Roman Legion.
Yeah.
So I thought they were really fucking funny. Like they're a bit of a meme to play as. But the one that I ethically agree with most is Mr. House, because he actually has a vision for.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid then.
yeah, Mr. Miyagi. But I played those fucking games to death, and the DLCs were just awesome as well. I didn't like Lonesome Road. I thought Lonesome Road was a bit shit. It was literally you walking down a very long highway while this guy was going in your ear saying, "Hey, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. I don't like you," and it was that for 2 hours. So. But it was, I
brilliant
just
franchise.
love Fallout New Vegas.
Bethesda's had a good showing, actually, hasn't they, on our lists? I think that's
but the reason, and again, I thought this was a series thing. Even if it was a series, wasn't a series thing, it would still be at free. But what I wanted to touch up on was Fallout 76 and how much that game has fucking broken my heart. It has absolutely just upset me to the core.
Do you remember that time when it launched and everyone hated it and you were trying to justify it to me, and I was like, Judd, come on, you're on the wrong side of history here.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not, you're all gonna like it. I want to like this game, and then fucking it just got worse.
The best thing that you could tell me about that game is you took a screenshot of you and your mates. They were all stood together on it. That was your best thing you could come up with.
Yeah, because I was playing it with friends, so friends were making it fun, but it's fucking boring, and it's just so badly made, and they keep fucking up all the time. And it's like, now I actually have a violent reaction when I see Todd Howard. I actually start gnarly, I start grinding my teeth, and I start clenching my fists. I'm like, fucking Todd! Can't stand him. Like, he just comes out on stage and he goes, "Whoa, hey everybody, it's me, Wacky Todd Howard. Whoa, what am I gonna do?" And
what game am I gonna run next?
He had the opportunity to come out on stage and say to everybody, "Look, I'm so fucking sorry about Fallout 76. I'm so sorry." But he did. What he did was come out as like, "Hey guys, so we haven't had the best launch, but here are two other very fat men who are going to tell you some new stuff about it." And they came out and went, "Alright, cunts, do you want Fallout Battle Royale?" I remember throwing a glass at a wall when he said that. I remember him coming out and saying Fallout Battle Royale, and I threw a fucking glass at the wall.
To be fair, we were going to play that. This is another thing that proves how bad 76 was. We were going to play that on stream to kind of laugh at it, because it was free, wasn't it? Just the Battle Royale bit was free.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
Actually, I don't know if it was.
It was.
Did it not?
But we never got it working. It never worked. So we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Tessoteric's asking if you could play only one game/franchise for the rest of your life, what would it be? And I think we shouldn't mention that because it's probably going to be the number one on our list. Will probably be what we would pick, I would guess, at least.
I don't know. If I had to play it for the rest of my life, then I'm not too sure.
Honestly,
maybe
a weird pick for me, I think I would pick the Mario franchise, just because there's going to be so much variety of games that Mario's in, you know?
Yeah,
And also they'll be popular for
aren't
making content and all sorts of things like that. I think I'd
I
have
don't
to
know.
go with Mario, because like there's going to be so much. It's going to last forever, and there's going to be so much games. Going to be good games.
I could not say. I just think I could not say.
My initial instinct would be to go with my number 1 pick on this list anyway, so that means we should carry on to my number 2. They're both franchises, these. My number 2. Are you ready? I think this might have been a sleeper one that you've not thought of, because my number 2 favourite franchise of all time is the Tony Hawk skateboarding series.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made my list, but like, okay.
I wouldn't have expected it to make your list.
I wouldn't have fucking put it so high on your list either, to be honest.
Well, the reason is
like number 2.
Yeah, and here's why. Because I thought about it even compared to Minecraft, and I thought, how much hours have I spent enjoying Minecraft? Probably equal to the amount of hours I've spent enjoying Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, which is my favourite one, by the way. But I've spent just as many hours enjoying American Wasteland as Tony Hawk's Underground 2, and just as many as Tony Hawk's Underground 1, and just as many as Tony Hawk's Project 8. There's about 4 games in that franchise that I've spent fucking 500 hours on, just playing forever, and it's so satisfying to do tricks. And the reason I like it is it's the perfect game for the type of culture that I love. It's all got that pop punk culture and all the just vibes that I love, and the gameplay is so satisfying. I love how goofy the stories in them all, and the characters that are in them are all people that I admire in real life. It's like Jackass people and that. All Jackasses involved in Underground 2 and things like that. There's Steve Owen Bam in Underground 2, and and just it's so satisfying to play, and it's so fun to you can just mess about and do tricks, and you can do all sorts. You can try and get high scores, you can do the story, you can try and sort of come up with your own thing, like, right, I'm gonna like try and run this line on the game, right, I'm gonna try and do a dark slide on this thing, I'm gonna do a barrel roll onto the half pipe, and I'm gonna reeve it. You know, you can come up with different challenges for yourself, and they're all stuff that isn't so intense that you have to focus and get serious about it. And you can watch other stuff, you can watch movies, you can do all sorts with it. And for me, a game that you can watch movies and stuff as well, and pay attention to the movie or the show, whatever you're watching, that's actually a big thing. That's probably... I've spent probably more time in my life watching films and TV while playing games than fully concentrated on the game. And I think a franchise as a whole, Tony Hawk's series has done that better than any other series for me. It's just and don't get me wrong, there's some that let us down, and it is literally that era of starting with probably, I think it was Pro Skater 2 was the first one I ever played at a friend's house. Same with Pro Skater 3 that I played at a friend's house, and Pro Skater 4, all of those. I didn't even play first one. And then they came out with Underground 1, which I played at a friend's house, but we completed the full thing, like from start to finish. He didn't play any of it without me being there and taking turns playing it. And then Underground 2, I got, and I'm pretty sure we played together for a run through. I've completed that game maybe 6 times myself. 100%
we completed Project 8 together.
I'm pretty sure we did Underground 2 as well, and then I also completed Underground 2 with another friend as well. And then American Wasteland is the one that Tessa Turk says wasn't there a recent Tony Hawk's game that was pretty shit. I'll get to that, don't worry. American Wasteland is the one I played the most of, and I've completed that game. I'm not the type of guy who completes games multiple times. I might do it 2 or 3 times if I really love it, like I did with Spider-Man, but you're the type of person who will complete games 20 times if you love them. Tony Hawk's American Wasteland is the only story game I can think of that I've probably completed 20 odd times. It's the only one I can think of, and that's a massive thing that puts it up my list. And I've completed it with you multiple times. I've completed it on my own so many times, and I've completed it with other friends that I had of that era multiple times too. I love that game so much, and that's my favourite one out of the whole franchise. And then we completed Project 8 together, and I've completed Project 8 a few times on my own as well. And then after Project 8, that's when the series fell off for me. But that's not important. I think that even though the series fell off, there's so many games in it that I enjoyed anyway. It doesn't matter. And yeah, there was like a weird Tony Hawk's Ride thing on the Wii where you need a board, and there's some other stuff where it kind of tried to be a bit like the Skate franchise. And then the one Tesoteric was on about is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. I don't know why people didn't like that, because I never played it, but it's supposed to be bad. And the reason I never played it is because it went back to more of the Pro Skater formula, which was kind of on a map, and you have like a certain map, and you've got a certain amount of time to complete these challenges, right? And then you move on to the next map after you've completed after you've gained a certain amount of points from completing challenges. And that's the format they went with on Pro Skater 5, which is the classic format that people thought was quite cool. But it wasn't the one that I enjoyed particularly much. I enjoyed the sort of story, silly element of it, which was Underground 1, Underground 2, and American Wasteland, and even Project 8. So, yeah, that's why I've kind of not played it more recently. But they are doing a HD remaster of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and 3, I think it is, which I'm definitely going to be getting. So, yeah, Tony Hawk's franchise. Man, they're good games. Rip Neversoft. Neversoft was such a good games company.
Yeah, they were.
Those games.
They were, yeah.
So yeah, I think that sort of encompasses my love for the Tony Hawk's franchise. And after talking through that, I'm more glad I put that as my number 2. Right,
Jake.
Judd, tell me about your number 2. We're going to have to get through this fairly quick, because I really need to wee. Sorry, quickly. Tesoteric says, what do you think of the Skate series? Never really played it, think it looks quite funny. It's not the same thing as Tony Hawk's. They're very different games.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah.
Borderlands.
Yeah, I've got. I knew that'd be one of them. It's got to be.
Okay, I just.
Which is your favourite one?
I fell in the second one.
Good.
I fucking fell in love with the universe of Borderlands in high school. I played the second one first, actually. I can't think of a villain who I just sort of felt so enraptured with, like Handsome Jack.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest villains of all time. He might be the second best villain to Joker. He's so good.
Yeah, you know what? I'd say he's better than Joker, to be honest.
He's not.
I would say that. Not in all media, specifically in game media. What we've seen. No, I'm not saying he's not as good. You know, he's not like a Heath Ledger's Joker or
that's the thing. I think it's more prestigious
Phoenix,
to say that, including all types of media, Handsome Jack could still be the second best villain of all time. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'd need to think about it more.
It's just he's one of those. He's just one of those characters that you can't fucking wait to kill, but at the same time you can't get enough of him. You're just waiting for his next voice line because it's all pure gold. Yeah. It's so good.
It's the same feeling you have for Vars in Far Cry 3, but just done.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. He was brilliant, and all the different playable characters that you can play as, the DLC, the main story, the art style, the combat, the way that you can it goes from, like, because it has that element of, like, okay, but come in all normies come in, here is this game that we've got for you, play it through a normal time, you've done it, okay, here's some DLC if you want it, you're done, there you go, normies go. Okay, for all you fucking pro gamers, now we got some real good shit. We have the normal mode that you play, then we have the true, then we have Vault Hunter mode, which is you do it again but it's harder, then you do true Vault Hunter mode, which is you do it again but now it's even harder. and now once you get to level 72, which is the cap, then you can run through a gauntlet 8 times. It gets harder every time you do it, by the way, and you can get to a point where you competitively farming bosses and raid bosses. They become raid bosses, like in WoW and shit.
It's incredible.
That you have to team up with people to do. And
it's so good. How have they managed to make it an MMO? Like an MMORPG somehow, while yet it's one of the best single-player story experiences at the same time. One of the best open worlds at the same time. It literally, a lot, like almost all of the things that gamers enjoy, it's the best of all of them in a lot of ways. It can be considered the best of all good things. Online multiplayer, it can be the best because you can farm in a bunch of stuff. Best shooter ever because the gun mechanics are amazing. There's a lot of enemies to kill. Best open world, it's so vibrant and interesting and everything. Best story, the characters are amazing. I wouldn't argue if someone said that's the best at any sort of element that a game can be good at.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do a bonus list right now. Bonus list. I'm gonna do a quick ranking of the Borderlands games.
Okay.
That my least favorite was pre-sequel, and I just the thing is, it was still fun to play, but I only played for it 2 or 3 times compared to Borderlands 2's 13 or 14 times I beat that. It was
only 3 times, and then I completed Borderlands 2 14 times. To be fair, I think I've completed Borderlands 2 6 times. So
but it's just, you know what? One of the things that pisses me off most about this game, and it's gonna sound bad, I can't fucking stand all the Australians. I just can't.
It's too much. It's so obvious.
I love it when there's a couple. If in media there's now and again there's one Irishman or a couple Irishmen or a couple Australians also. Junkrat is one of my favourite characters ever in all of gaming. But when everybody's Australian, you're just shut up! Talk normally.
I know,
please.
I thought that as well, and I think that's probably more of an us problem, and it's a weird problem to have. Just quickly, Tesoteric's saying StarCraft series thoughts. I've never played any, games like that don't interest me at all, but I'm sure it's great. It's one of the biggest esports games ever, so I'm sure it's great, but it's not the type of game I'm interested in at all.
My next favourite Borderlands game was the first one. The first one
Don't
was
forget the Telltale one. Just make sure that's
actually. I'm not forgetting that. Borderlands, the first one, was my next favourite one. So I guess my fourth favourite one. That's all right. It was good. I liked it. Art style was cool combat. I just thought the characters and story could be a little bit better, and that's it really. Then it's the Telltale one. Okay. I really like the fucking Telltale one. I thought both playable characters were cool. I actually did a run through with my mate Tom where he played the guy and I played the girl, so we kept swapping controllers every time it was time for the other one to make a decision. So we actually, we were at one point stitching each other up, and we were fucking, it was good. We were fucking. So it was actually 2 different people's separate choices to match those characters, and that what they wanted. So it was cool. Then it is Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
The newest one. That's my favourite one. I really fucking like that one. It was just.
You just ranked that as number really 2 on your Borderlands list, so it's not your favourite one, is it?
Well, I didn't say. Did I say it was my favourite one?
Yeah, you just said Borderlands 3 is your favourite one, but then
I did. I said it's my next. I said it's my next favourite one.
You forgot the word next, then.
Okay. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, it's just 2, but a bit worse, and then my favourite one is 2, and that is 2, so it's not a bit worse than 2.
And what I will say about that is, I think that ranking that you've given to it is objectively the right ranking. I think for everyone, for the general vibe, that's probably the order that you would rank the Borderlands games in. But for me, I would say Telltale 1 is the worst, then the pre-sequel, then 1, then 3, then 2. That's what I would give for Borderlands. Not that matters at all.
All right.
Have you talked about Borderlands enough? I think we've hyped it up a lot. And I think, I have to say, considering both of our rankings, Borderlands is probably the overall best franchise. Because I was number 5 on mine and number 2 on yours. That's got 2 very high rankings. So Borderlands has done very, very well.
on Borderlands, when 2K do like a new Borderlands game, they're actually going to have our opinions as like, you know how they do like 5 stars from Metacritic or whatever. It's going to be like ranked number 5th by Jacob Fox and ranked 2nd by Jordan Tarr, and then so.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on. What's your? Oh my God! It's your number one.
My number one, my favorite game or game franchise of all time. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready? It is.
Yeah.
Farming Simulator.
Mine too.
That's a funny joke, that, isn't it? It's not really. I've never even played it. No, my favourite is probably, it might be quite obvious at this point, but it's the Assassin's Creed franchise. That's my favourite. They're my favourite games ever. Right. I've only disliked an Assassin's Creed game once, and I have to say now, I don't dislike it. The only Assassin's Creed game I've disliked is the France one. What was that? I forget what it's called.
Was that Odyssey? No, it wasn't Odyssey. It was
Revolution?
Fucking hell, what was that? Yeah, some game shit like that.
I'm googling Assassin's Creed France. What's it called? Unity, that's it.
Unity. Yeah, Unity.
The only reason is it was too rushed. They were trying to release them every year. Bad idea. They're big games. You can't release one of those every year. Too much. And it was just broken.
Yeah.
Hold on, Tesoteric says, mods need game extensions or unbalanced applications that ruins a balanced gameplay that devs put much effort in. I don't know what he's referring to there, but anyway, Assassin's Creed, yeah, that's the only game I didn't like because I bought it on PC and it literally just 100% didn't work on my PC. It was a custom PC build and it didn't work on my hardware. 100% wouldn't even launch. So that was £40 down the drain that I just didn't get back. But eventually they fixed it and I could play it, and when I eventually got to play it, it was still trash because the combat just didn't work. It was way too brutal. You just died instantly. And then they were like, oh shit, this is way too brutal. And they fixed it. It's a little bit of like a No Man's Sky situation, but nowhere near as bad as No Man's Sky was. So that's the worst thing I can say about Assassin's Creed. Every other game has been so much fun to play. Every other one. From the point of, my mum was the first when I played the first Assassin's Creed game, I played it because my mum saw it and was like, oh, this guy looks cool in front of this box in a shop because it was on sale and it was cheaper than the game I wanted to buy. So I was like, I have heard good things about it. It doesn't look like something I'm interested in, but my mum will buy me this one and she won't buy me another one, so I guess I'll take it. And I'm so glad I did, because I found the story so compelling. I was fairly young, so the twist at the end was like mind-blowing. And sorry, spoilers, Tesso, if you wanted to play it. The spoilers for Assassin's Creed right now. And then there was such a leap when they went to Italy, a different scenario. Oh, that was amazing! Yeah. Who thought of that before? That's fan-burp-tastic. And then, right? Not only that, they were like, oh, yeah, this Italy thing, that can be explored more. It's great, isn't it? Let's do another game of that, yet we'll add a bunch of really cool shit you can do. I was like, Brotherhood? What? Amazing! I get to call in other assassins to do my dirty work for me? You're kidding me. This is still in the PS2 era. What? No way. The movement felt so fluid. You can climb everything. Combat's so fun. You've got a variety of weapons.
But wait,
you can play it differently.
Was Brotherhood 2 or PlayStation 2, or was it free?
Both.
Was it both? Oh, okay.
It was one of them that released on both. And you can the ways you can play it are massively different. You can be sneaky or you can be loud. You can do whatever you want. There's some missions where you have to do one or the other, but you know, to be forced into that every so often is probably better in my opinion. The story was so good. The characters have always been really interesting. And the whole sort of premise of having it sort of tied into religion and things and having this year-long war that's been hidden in the shadows is such an interesting concept. I love it. It's such a good concept that it made a terrible movie fairly enjoyable to watch. In the Assassin's Creed movie that should have been really bad in theory, and kind of when I was watching it I was thinking this should be a really bad movie, but it's a really cool concept, so I'm still into it. And then, there's so much, and the thing that people have complained about with it most on Assassin's Creed is that it's got stale. It's kind of the same thing all the time. And that's not wrong, but I would also say that that's not necessarily a downside, in the same way that Marvel superhero movies are the same thing every time. But you know you're going to like it, because it's a good thing every time. But they managed to not only do that and make it something that you're going to like every time, even though you know what it's going to be. In more recent years, they've switched it up. They've managed to switch it up and still make it familiar, as well as good and different, and improve it. And they've
got pirates. They've got pirates as well.
And because of how this works, I have to say which one my favourite is, and which one. But I'm going to say which one my favourite is, and which one I think is the best, because those are different. For me, my personal favourite, because of nostalgia and things, is Black Flag, probably, but maybe Brotherhood. And I think the best one is the most recent one. I think Odyssey is the best one. And not only that, I would also put that forward for best game ever. I would put Assassin's Creed Odyssey forward for one of the best games of all time. Not just for me, but for anyone. That's how good I think that game alone is. Never mind all the other fantastic, amazing games. I 100%ed Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which is the one that was in London. Not even one of the better ones, probably one of the worst ones. And I still 100%ed it, because it was still fantastic. And it's just, I don't know, I would defend Assassin's Creed to anyone who tries to make out like it's bad in any way, because it's just not. It's such a good franchise, such an interesting story, amazing gameplay, amazing story, amazing graphics, amazing everything. It's just fantastic. I love it. Absolutely in love with it. And they're coming out with a Vikings one next? Are you kidding me? Could they make me love it even more? Holy damn. Vikings is probably my favourite setting possible. I think that shows how much I love that franchise. It's the best one. It's the best franchise. It is. I love it. So there you go.
Okay. Well, it's time
ready for you to say BioShock,
the best game.
Fine. What?
It's time for the best game franchise ever, because mine's actually after yours, so this actually makes by law, because it's works, coming after yours, it actually makes it better than yours. Are you ready? I'm ready? Adventure Quest. Holy shit, Adventure Quest World!
How long have you been thinking of that joke, Judd?
I don't know. I just like now.
Well, Adventure Quest World is a great game.
It's BioShock.
I'm honestly a bit surprised, because there's not as many games in that as something like Fallout or Borderlands, which and because I don't think you enjoyed Infinite as much, so I don't know. I would have thought you would have put that at number 3, but.
No, on replaying Infinite, I actually think it's fucking awesome. I love BioShock Infinite.
Just so you know, my experience with BioShock Infinite, the first time I tried playing it, I couldn't get through it because it was kind of a bit confusing and stuff. But then I played it again, having known sort of the general premise, and then after I'd played it through to the end and sort of understood it, I thought, oh, that's really cool. I really enjoyed that story, actually.
Yeah, and it is a great story, and it's a great setting.
It is the worst my favourite one is the first one. It's gotta be.
My favourite one is the first one. I'll talk a bit about each of them. BioShock Infinite is set in.
Tesoteric says he's got like, Infinite laying around but never touched it, so don't spoil Infinite, but if you played
okay, alright.
You don't even have to have played either of the other ones. It's worth playing. It is definitely worth playing.
Okay. It's like a white man's paradise. Well, I say a white man's paradise. I mean like a 1910s white man paradise. Where I can say that because that's exactly what it is. That's what it's modelled after. It's an American. I'm not saying. I won't say fascist. It's because it's like slave ownery times. So everyone was like that pretty much, apart from like people like Lincoln. But it's just fucking awesome. The setting, the way it looks, the characters, the gameplay, all of that good shit. It's all awesome. But the reason why I think 1 is better, 2 is also awesome, because in the second one you get to play as a Big Daddy, and the second that was everybody knew that's what
that was totally the type of thing that they introduced.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that entertainment or media manufacturers of the time use that type of thing to sell something. Like, in theory, I don't think that is actually better. I don't think it's more fun to play as a Big Daddy than the guy you play as in the first one. But you know, it sounds cool. You know, it's one of those sorts of things.
Well, no, I feel like it's almost 2K sort of leaning in and going, "Hey, you liked the first BioShock, didn't you?" And them going, "Yeah, we did." Well, in the second one, you get to play as a fucking Big Daddy, mate, and you know, like then just be like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. So where that's not actually better, reason... but it sounds better, and it gets people to be like, "Oh, whoa!" Yeah. And it is kind of cool for when you first do it, but it's a novelty.
Yeah. The first one though, I think the reason why I love the first one is because the story goes so much deeper than you think it does. Like when you're picking up like all the audio logs and you're actually paying attention, and there's a lot of storytelling visually as well. Like if you're paying attention to what goes on around you, you can actually work out the rise and fall of Rapture. Like you can understand what happened, you can understand its ideals, you can understand Andrew Ryan's backwards view of capitalism to a point where I swear to God, Andrew Ryan, I only found this out recently, by the way, but Andrew Ryan isn't actually American, he's Russian. He actually fled from Russia because of the oppressive nature of communism and became obsessed with the idea of capitalism. So one day he struck oil and just went, right, capitalism's the best fucking thing ever. I'm going to build a city under the ocean.
It's so interesting. The thing about it is you don't have to go that deep for it to be an amazing story. You don't have to know that.
You don't have to do that. But
you can enjoy that stuff as well. Sorry, Tessoteric is saying that he's going to send me something on Discord and Judd has to tell you which BioShock it is. I'll probably be able to tell you from seeing it anyway. If on the video version it's a bit weird and it's showing just my face and not Judd's, that's because I called Judd on Discord. So if I'm looking at something on Discord, I can't. We can't show Judd's face.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at that now and see which one it is. It is.
I'm sure you could take a random pixel out of you. You could take a random picture out of pixel out of any of those 3 games, and I would be able to say what it was.
It says it's on Games for Windows, so I would think it's number 1. It's got to be. It's got a Big Daddy on the front, and it doesn't have. It just says BioShock on it, and the front of the case is just like rusted metal, and it has a BioShock sort of imprinted into the rusted metal.
That's the first one. That's the first one.
Yeah.
Because
the thing is, you've owned so many iterations of that game, haven't you? You've owned that game so many times over, from having to re-buy it and replay it and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I have. I've owned it on, I think, every single platform.
Just continue talking about it. I'll come back and talk to you about it more.
Right,
I'm about to burst.
Okay, go on then. So, the big reason why it's my favourite one is because I was at that age where I didn't really understand storytelling, like I understood what a fucking story was, but I didn't understand all like the twists and turns that a story could have. I didn't understand like the hero's journey and shit like that. So when I played that game for the first time, there is a big plot twist that you reach, and I'm sorry, Tesso, I can't see if you're telling me not to tell you the big plot twist because I'm not looking on the Twitch thing. But when the plot twist hits you, it's just like, holy fuck, I have been lied to for the entire game. And also because like I was so young, I think it actually was the first time I experienced a plot twist. I'm going to wait till Jake sits back down because I just heard the door shut. So
I'm back.
I think that was Jake. Okay. I was just saying. So the thing is with the plot twist is that I was so young that I think that might have been the first plot twist that I experienced in media. Like I think
same
like
for me on Assassin's Creed.
I just sort of like believed everything was black and white in storytelling, and not only is there a massive plot twist, but there's actually like 3 or 4
It is a great one as well. You can't just say that it's because you were young. Cause it is a very good twist. Just anyway, now it's a good twist.
Because you reach a point basically where is Tesso saying not for me not to spoil it? By the way, can you just check that?
What he's
Has he
saying, I
said
can't
anything?
get to play the first one because the Activision servers for the CD key are shut down, so now I have a game I can't play. That seems strange.
Okay.
I wouldn't have thought that because it's not an online game.
You can get the Bioshock collection though, where you could get the Bioshock collection where you get all three together. So and Burial at Sea for.
I wouldn't spoil it, but you should be able to play it. There
well,
must be some other problem
I'm going to, so fuck you.
Okay, spoilers.
I want to talk about how...
Spoilers.
Yeah,
spoilers right now. Spoilers. Yeah. Very loud spoilers.
It's you reach a point where basically you find out that your only friend within Rapture, a guy who was called Atlas, has been lying to you the entire time because you're actually brainwashed. So that's the first plot twist. You're brainwashed, and your activation key is the words "Would you kindly." So any sentence preceded with "Would you kindly," your character has to do because you're brainwashed.
And it's mind-boggling when they show you that, when they sort of remind you that he's been saying "Would you kindly."
Yeah, you never realise how many times he says "Would you kindly," but he says it at least 10 times, and you always go and do it because you just do that. Like
you might sort of think, oh, that's the type of thing that he says, you know. But that's it.
But then the second plot twist is the reason why you are engineered like that is because actually you were an engineered super soldier who was engineered to fucking follow that passphrase by Andrew Ryan, the guy that you've been trying to fucking hunt down for the entire game. And the only reason why you've gone rogue is because Atlas managed to hijack your fucking programming and use him as a weapon against him. Now, the third plot twist is that they needed somebody's DNA to create a human. So whose DNA did they use? Andrew Ryan's. So the guy that you've been hunting down the whole time is your dad. Andrew Ryan's your dad. Also, you were sort of made in a test tube, but I mean, they used him. It's more like they used a surrogate mother. So they used Andrew Ryan's sperm and this woman's eggs, and then the woman carried the baby.
And because of all that sort of thing, it's got sort of a fucked up sort of thing to do with political issues that it riffs on really well and everything. It's so good.
The fourth plot twist then is that you hand the city over to Atlas because you're thinking that he's going to let you go, but actually the reason why Atlas wanted the keys to Rapture is because he is a guy. He's not actually Atlas. He's a guy called Frank Fontaine who Ryan has been in an arms race with for years, and he managed to fake his own death and managed to do this to get the one up on Ryan so he could own Rapture.
It's
so like 4 times like me as a kid, I'm just sat there clutching my head going, what the fuck is happening?
And this is all on top of stuff that is so insanely appealing to kids. It's an 18 game. Kids aren't supposed to be playing it.
Yeah.
So we're all like, oh my god, I just blew that guy to bits, you know?
And it was scary as well in times for the first Bioshock. There was some bits in it that were fucking scary.
It was really good.
The second one weren't too scary because you're playing as a big daddy, so it's like, oh well, who gives a fuck? I'm a big daddy. And the third one is like
it's more creepy.
It's more creepy and freaky, isn't it? Because it's based on religious fanaticism,
which is great because they didn't just riff on the same scary type nature as well, which is so good, so clever.
Bioshock Infinite, it's very bright and colourful and like very pretty to look at. Bioshock Infinite, the first 2 Bioshocks are very dark and grimy and like there's a big feeling of isolation, being trapped literally fathoms below the sea with all these fucking crazy bastards.
It's
but
amazing.
Just still, the writing and everything was just incredible, and just I still replay the Bioshock games to this day because I just think they're all just so fucking good.
Right, that's a whole lot of good games.
And I also just really want to quickly say that my most recent tattoos are the chains that the main character from the first game has tattooed on his wrist. I have them in the same place. That makes me think I should
get an Assassin's Creed tattoo.
Maybe. So that's how much I love the Bioshock games. I went out and got a tattoo.
Well, fantastic. I'm trying to usher you to shut up because we've been going on for an hour and 45 minutes. This is easily the longest podcast we've ever had. I even thought, should we split this into two podcasts? But it seemed like we were going to finish earlier, but then we started talking about our favourite games ever, and it was taking forever.
We were supposed to do How to Be a Jedi today, but...
We were, but yeah,
okay.
I just skipped it. Yeah. Next podcast, How to Be a Jedi, will be part of it.
Actually, you know what next podcast is, Jake?
What?
It's the 1 year anniversary.
It is, yeah.
I forgot
about that.
Yeah.
It will be recorded live on the 1 year anniversary. So if you want to tune in for that, it'll be it's going to be recorded. Probably we start at around 6 p.m. if we can, don't we? On the 20th of May. If you want to tune in live to watch at twitch.tv/gamesbadly. If you have any suggestions for anything cool we could do for the 1 year anniversary on the podcast, then let us know. Either in the comments on the video version, or you can tweet at tweetsbadly. If there's no suggestions, which there'll probably not be, then we'll just do a normal podcast. So there you go. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, listening, all that sort of thing. It's taken a long time, and that's a whole lot of good games. Let us know what your favourite game is. Yeah, that's games.
I don't care. You can let Jake know. I truly do not care.
And the last thing I have to say are those are games that are badly.
Yes.
So yes.
But they weren't though. That was the point.
Those are the only games that are not badly.
Yeah, they're the only games that have ever been made that are not badly.
Okay, right, brilliant. Yeah. Thanks for that long ass podcast. I hope it doesn't take me 20 years to upload. And we'll see you on the 1 year anniversary. Cool, nice one. Say bye, Judd.
Bye.
Ah! I screamed over you. Bye. Bye bye.